You can't help but like him. He treats not only authority figures, but also those who stand against him with respect. He's truly a person worthy of admiration. This is something young people should keep in mind and emulate as a spirit of sportsmanship. I've never seen anyone like him. Dusty Baker. He shows proper respect to the opposing manager, pitcher, and catcher even during his first at-bat. He's perfect in every way. Really amazing. My son and I once saw Ohtani at a football game, and he stopped to take pictures with us instead of focusing on the game. There's no other star like him. Everything he does is top class. You won't see anyone else like this. Rich Eisen. All these comments are about Shohei Ohtani. Moreover, his character is praised not only by these figures, but also widely in the media. The New York Times said this: "Whenever stories come out about his personality and behavior beyond his sports skills, it often reflects typical Japanese virtues." What's remarkable is that journalists around the world, from elite American newspapers to European media, focus not only on Ohtani's baseball skills, but on his character and humility. Why is Ohtani's character praised so highly? Actually, his humility is not merely a personal trait. It is the crystallization of values cultivated in Japanese culture for thousands of years. From greeting opposing managers before stepping up to bat, picking up trash during games, standing throughout press conferences, to his catchphrase, "I still have a long way to go." All these actions have deep cultural roots. Why are Japanese people humble? So, in this video, we'll delve into the deep layers of Japanese culture through the humility of Shohei Ohtani, who has captivated the world. You're sure to discover new insights about Japanese culture, so please watch until the very end. America and Japan. Different ways of expressing success. First, let's try to understand the characteristics of both cultures. American sports culture. Confidence is expected to be expressed openly. Individuals proudly showcase their own skills. Moments of victory are celebrated with great fanfare. The spirit of "I earned this." This is not a bad thing at all. In fact, this confidence and individualism is one of the reasons America became a global sports powerhouse. However, Ohtani takes a completely different approach. Before stepping up to bat, Ohtani always touches the brim of his cap and gives a slight bow to the opposing manager, pitcher, and catcher. This is a natural routine for him, but is extremely rare to see in American baseball. Popular American host Rich Eisen commented in this scene: "He shows proper respect to the opposing manager, pitcher, and catcher even during his first at-bat. He's perfect in every way. Really amazing." Even more impressive was Ohtani's behavior in 2024 after he moved to the Dodgers, during a game against his former team, the Angels. Receiving a huge cheer, Ohtani smiled and greeted the opposing bench, the umpire, and former teammate catcher affectionately before stepping up to bat, just as usual. Dodgers-focused media outlet Dodgers Nation reported on this site: "Shohei Ohtani is the most respected superstar in the league. He bowed to the dugout where his old teammates were before the game." But Ohtani's humility isn't limited to the game itself. At press conferences, he is known for standing while answering questions, even when offered a chair. A former Angels staff member revealed he doesn't seem comfortable sitting down for interviews, probably because he doesn't want to come off as arrogant. Clear cultural differences shown in his response to the 51-51 achievement. In 2024, Ohtani made history by recording 6 hits, 3 home runs, and 10 RBIs in one game, achieving the unprecedented 51-51 milestone. His comment was, "That wasn't the goal itself, but rather one of the means to win. So being able to set that record was a big deal." A typical American reaction might be, "This is my moment," highlighting the historic significance of the record, praising personal effort and talent. Ohtani's reaction was describing the record as a means, prioritizing the team's victory, focusing on collective success over individual achievement. Both approaches are wonderful, but it is this difference that creates a fresh surprise. The culture of humility, born from a collectivist society. Why is Ohtani so humble? The answer lies in Japan's collectivist social structure. Japan has long valued wa. One key Japanese idea is expressed in the phrase wa omote toshi to nasu, often translated as either harmony is to be valued or harmony is the greatest virtue. This concept has been at the core of Japanese values for over 1,400 years and is deeply rooted in Ohtani's behavior. This collectivist value gave rise to the belief that individual success is supported by the group. When Ohtani achieves a record, he always acknowledges, "thanks to my teammates," or "because of everyone's support," reflecting this value clearly. In his 2024 MVP interview, Ohtani said, "I think of this award as being received on behalf of the team. I'm currently rehabilitating so that next year we can all work hard together again after I return." This comment strongly reflects the Japanese way of viewing personal honors as collective achievements. Also, there's a Japanese saying, "The nail that sticks out gets hammered down," which warns against standing out too much or asserting oneself excessively. However, in Ohtani's case, this value is transformed into humility, becoming a reason why he is loved worldwide. In America, individual achievements are generally praised as a result of personal effort, but Ohtani never forgets to express gratitude towards those around him. This cultural difference gives American media and fans a fresh impression. Respect for hierarchy and the spirit of courtesy. Another source of Japanese humility is the culture that values clear hierarchical relationships and manners. Ohtani's respect toward opposing managers and senior players comes from Japan's tradition of seniority and mentor-mentee relationships. A particularly memorable episode is when Ohtani met Ichiro. As soon as Ohtani spotted Ichiro, he ran over to greet him. This moment was widely covered even by American media. USA Today's sports site, For the Win, described the scene as, "Ohtani found his hero in the stadium and ran toward him showing respect. He paused all his warm-up routines and, in that moment, seemed to return to a childlike state." Another notable moment was Ohtani's greeting to pitcher Shota Imanaga. Ohtani bowed deeply and removed his cap for Imanaga. American fans analyzed this behavior. Ohtani bowed more deeply and took off his hat because Imanaga is older, even though Ohtani is the bigger name. This observation is accurate. In Japan, age and seniority take precedence over achievements or status. This is due to Confucian values deeply rooted in Japanese society. Why does Ohtani pick up trash? One of the most widely noticed actions symbolizing Ohtani's humility is his habit of picking up trash. But why does Ohtani do this? There is a profound philosophy behind it, beyond simple virtue. When Ohtani was a first-year student at Hanamaki Higashi High School, he created a mandala chart with a section labeled Luck, which included picking up trash. This teaching came from his mentor, Coach Hiroshi Sasaki, who said, "Trash is the luck someone dropped. By picking up trash, you pick up luck. You bring good fortune to yourself. Think of it that way." This teaching is not just a spiritual idea. In traditional Japanese values, small acts of goodness accumulate to create great results. Ohtani regarded trash picking as a concrete method to achieve his goals. This habit continued even after Ohtani reached MLB. On April 18, 2022, during a game between the Angels and the Yankees, after flying out to right field, Ohtani noticed a white plastic bag on the infield as he returned to the dugout. Though he initially failed to pick it up cleanly, he turned around, picked up the bag, and carried it back to the bench. Spanish newspaper Marca ran a special feature titled, "Shohei Ohtani shows Japanese politeness by picking up trash at Angels dugout," reporting, "Ohtani, who has had a spectacular two-way season, drew attention this time for something else, cleaning the team's dugout." This is a common act for Japanese people, seen even in international soccer tournaments, reflecting a culture that values tidiness. Ohtani's trash picking gained global attention on April 22, 2023, Earth Day. MLB's official account posted a video with the message, "Let's take care of the Earth. Shohei Ohtani's doing it," showing him picking up small trash and palm-sized litter on the field. American fans praised him. How can you not love Sho? This guy is special. That's why Japan is the cleanest country. Their culture places high value on cleanliness and teaches it from childhood. As a society, we can learn so much from the Japanese. American TV commentators also highly regard Ohtani. Ohtani's character is incredible. Despite all his success, he never gets arrogant and sets an example. He is more than just a superstar. He's a true role model for all of us. Ohtani's environmental consideration shows in even finer details. In MLB, it's common for players to eat sunflower seeds during games and spit the shells on the floor. Many players scatter shells carelessly in the dugout. But Ohtani is different. He always spits the shells into a cup, never littering. This behavior surprised and impressed the American fans and media. Though seemingly minor, it symbolizes Ohtani's environmental awareness and consideration for those around him. The Japanese value of picking up luck. Ohtani's habit of picking up trash is based on a uniquely Japanese value, the idea of picking up luck. This is not mere superstition, but carries deep meaning. Respect for the environment. By caring for the places we use, we receive good energy from that space. Continuous good deeds. Small acts of kindness accumulate into greater outcomes. A humble attitude. No matter how successful you become, never neglect the basics. Consideration for others. Always be aware of how your actions affect people and the environment. Ohtani's trash picking has also influenced his teammates. Mike Trout, a fellow Angel, said, "Shohei is a top player, but always humble and grounded. Seeing him voluntarily clean the stadium before games deeply impresses us with his humility and professionalism." Patrick Sandoval also commented, "Every time I see Shohei pick up trash, it reminds me he's not just any major leaguer. He truly respects his environment and understands how his actions impact others." Ohtani's example has inspired young baseball players across the United States. Influenced by Ohtani's idea of picking up the luck others dropped, many youth players have started picking up trash themselves to improve their own fortunes. American TV media reported on this change. Ohtani's influence is astonishing. Watching his actions inspire young generation sportsmanship and social responsibility is truly heartwarming. His example teaches valuable lessons about responsibility in sports and society to young athletes. Thus, Ohtani's trash picking goes beyond a personal habit. It has sparked a cultural movement. It shows how a Japanese value that small actions create big changes is being understood and practiced across borders. The spirit of Okage-sama and the culture of gratitude. In Japanese, there is a unique expression called Okage-sama. It conveys a humble feeling that one's success or happiness is thanks to others. This concept is difficult to fully express in English. If we try to explain Okage-sama in English, it would combine gratitude plus humility plus recognition of interdependence. Interestingly, this mindset is gaining attention even in modern America. As teamwork is being revalued and excessive self-promotion on social media is being questioned, Ohtani's approach stands out as a new model of leadership. If you listen carefully to Ohtani's words, you can see the spirit of Okage-sama everywhere. For example, when he was praised by Aaron Judge, Ohtani responded, "I'm just really happy, and I think he is one of the best players. I consider him, Mookie, and Freddie among the top players in the league, so it's special to be praised by a player like him." This comment shows a humble attitude. Rather than praising himself, he values and appreciates others equally or more. Also, when Ohtani was booed heavily during a game against the Blue Jays on April 27th, many players might have shown displeasure, but Ohtani said, "I think they boo because they love their team. Dodgers fans and Blue Jays fans alike show that passion because they love baseball, and I respect that." This statement embodies the spirit of empathy, thinking from the opponent's perspective, and the Okage-sama heart that finds gratitude even in tough situations. This mindset is deeply connected to Japan's religious background. In Shinto, gods are believed to reside in nature and everything around us. Buddhism teaches the idea of interdependence. These beliefs foster a humble worldview in Japan, the understanding that no one can accomplish something by themselves alone. Humility expressed through language, the influence of honorifics. To understand Japanese humility, we cannot overlook structure of the language itself. Japan has a complex system of honorifics, which is rare in the world. Japanese honorifics can be broadly categorized into 3 types. Sonkeigo, raises the other person, Kenjogo, lowers oneself, and Teinego, polite expressions used generally. When listening to Ohtani's speech in Japanese, these honorifics naturally appear, especially the frequent use of humble language that shows humility is ingrained even at the linguistic level. For example, when talking about his own achievements, Ohtani often uses humble expressions like sasete itadaku or okage de. This is not just habit. The language structure itself promotes a humble way of thinking. American popular host Rich Eisen shared his understanding of this Japanese language culture. It's Japanese culture. Like when Hideo Nomo hit someone, he took off his cap and said sumimasen, showing politeness. That kind of respectfulness is part of the culture. This sharp observation highlights how language shapes behavior patterns. Modern inheritance of the Bushido spirit. Another root of Ohtani's humility lies in the Bushido spirit. Western chivalry emphasizes courage and honor, defeating enemies and boasting victories, praising individual valor. Japanese Bushido values self-control and courtesy as true strength, the importance of controlling power, showing respect to opponents even after battle. Bushido highlights 7 virtues: Gi, Yu, Jin, Rei, Makoto, Meiyo, Chugi. These values cherish self-sacrifice and strict self-discipline. Among these, Ohtani's behavior strongly reflects Rei and Makoto. For example, when Ohtani accidentally hits an umpire or catcher with a foul ball, he immediately apologizes, a gesture that has caught attention. Dodgers commentator Oral Hershiser said, "The most polite foul ball in MLB history. What a gentleman." Also, when colliding with the opposing first baseman, Ohtani quickly shows concern for the other player's condition, demonstrating Bushido-like dignity. In Bushido, true strength is not about boasting power, but maintaining self-control and politeness. Ohtani's ability to remain humble despite his overwhelming talent is a modern continuation of that Bushido spirit. Today, the samurai class no longer exists in Japan, but the spiritual heritage lives on through education and family upbringing. Ohtani's conduct proves that this invisible cultural DNA remains alive in modern times. Perfectionism and the culture of continuous improvement. Ohtani frequently uses the phrase "mada-mada" in interviews, which symbolizes the Japanese perfectionist culture. Japan has the concept of kaizen, meaning continuous improvement. The idea that no matter how good something is, you should always strive to make it better. This concept, well known globally through Toyota's production system, actually comes from deep within Japanese culture. In his MVP acceptance interview, this spirit is clearly expressed. "I wasn't thinking about winning the MVP award. When I joined the Dodgers, I just wanted to be recognized by my new teammates, so I especially worked hard in the first half of the season." This shows a focus not on personal glory, but in contributing to the team and always aiming to improve, the very essence of Kaizen. Also, when Ohtani achieved the historic 51-51 milestone, his comment was memorable. That itself was not the goal, but rather a means to win. I think it's a big deal that such a record could be made as part of that. This reflects a mindset of viewing records not as ends, but as tools towards greater goals. The Mada-Mada spirit is also related to Zen Buddhism's teachings of Shoshin Wasaru Bekarazu. Never forget the beginner's mind. No matter how skilled, one should keep a humble, beginner's heart. Ohtani's continuous desire to improve is born from this spiritual foundation. The value of humility in the modern global era. The reason Ohtani's humility is celebrated worldwide lies in changing values in modern society. Traditional American success models emphasize showcasing individual ability and self-promotion. However, with the rise of social media, overexposure, and questions about leadership styles, Ohtani's humble leadership appears refreshingly new. Harvard professor Michael Sandel analyzes Ohtani's values as follows. Ohtani has always maintained humility and self-discipline since childhood, constantly striving. Continuous effort without resting on success and remaining humble is most important. This is a key point. Ohtani's humility is not just cultural, but a practical value enabling ongoing growth. Former MLB player Jose Molina also praises Ohtani's new star image. We are lucky to see a player like him. First of all, no one is as disciplined as Shohei, and he truly enjoys the game. This shows how Ohtani's humility balances discipline with joy, presenting a new model of success. Sharing Japanese culture with the world. Ohtani's humility plays an important role in sharing the values of Japanese culture globally. As Spanish media outlet Marca pointed out, Ohtani brings the goodness of Japanese culture to the Dodgers and raises the standard of baseball in America. Specifically, we can observe these impacts. Influence on other players. Some players start imitating Ohtani's habit of greeting opponents. Change in fan awareness. More young baseball players begin picking up trash, inspired by Ohtani. Media attention. Increased coverage focusing on players' character beyond their athletic performance. Promotion of cultural understanding. Growing interest in and deeper understanding of Japanese culture. American fans have expressed comments like, American players can learn a lot about respect from Japanese players. From what I see, Japanese culture is the best. These remarks show that Ohtani's humility is recognized not as a personal trait, but as a cultural value. Mutual cultural learning. Changes in America. Interestingly, Ohtani's influence is creating changes within American baseball culture as well. 1. Changes at the player level. More players adopt greeting rituals. Acts of respect toward opponents are spreading. 2. Changes among fans. Increasing number of young baseball players picking up trash. Growing appreciation for humility. 3. Changes in media. More reports focusing on players' humanity and cultural background. 4. Voices from American fans. American players can learn a lot about respect from Japanese players. It looks like Japanese culture is the best. However, this learning is not one-sided. Japan also benefits greatly from American values like acceptance of diversity, respect for individuality, and open communication culture. Let's take a moment to think. How is success expressed in your culture? How do you balance humility and confidence? How do you reconcile personal success with consideration for the group? The diversity of culture enriches our world and helps us navigate the global society we live in. So, what did you think? In this video, we explored why Shohei Ohtani's humility has made such a strong impact in America through the lens of cultural comparison. What matters is not which culture is superior, but the new possibilities that emerge when different values meet. Ohtani's success teaches us the following. 1. The value of cultural diversity. Bringing together people from different backgrounds creates new models of leadership. 2. Balancing humility and ambition. It is important to improve oneself while never forgetting respect for others. 3. Mutual learning in a global age. Instead of imposing one culture over another, it's vital to learn from each other. What we can learn from Ohtani is the importance of never becoming arrogant despite success, always being grateful, and continuously showing respect to those around us. At the same time, each of us should cherish our own cultural backgrounds while remaining open to learning from others. What are your thoughts? Please share your cultural experiences and impressions of Ohtani in the comments below. Having diverse perspectives from around the world will surely enrich the discussion. Thank you very much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. See you again in the next video.